Welcome to a tour of my workshop. I was talking to a friend of mine named Indiana Reverend, and he's working on reorganizing his shop. So I thought I'd put together a little tour of my shop and how I've organized things. So that's the plan. I'll just go around and show you how it all operates and how I got it all organized. This may seem a little weird, but part of my shop organization is I keep a file folder on all my tools. You notice right here on top this is a DeWalt. I think this is my latest tool. It's a DeWalt chop saw, and there's a user's manual for West Systems epoxy. But you can see I got files in here for there's one for skill saw, rototiller, shop vise, Teleflex cable. But I got over the years I've accumulated every time I bought a tool, I put it in this file. And it's easy to do, and anytime I got anything break, I automatically know where to look. This is looking at the west wall. I've just got some memorabilia up on the wall. But the key point is that this wall right here, all the way around, and the ceiling is all half-inch plywood. And that is very important when you're installing lights, garage door openers, wood racks, cabinets, pegboards. Whenever you don't have to worry about marring it and so forth. It would just be a nightmare to have sheetrock, and and the plywood just works a lot better. Continuing along the west wall here, this is my router shaper. I don't really have any use for it. I bought it at an auction cheap. Fixed it up, got it working, and discovered that just about everything I needed to do on a router shaper I could do with a router table. So I'm trying to give it away or sell it. This is an old 25 horsepower 4-stroke Honda. I'm either going to give that away or sell it also. It's a good engine, but I don't have any use for it anymore. This is my high workbench. I built it kind of high so I could stand at it and and work projects standing up without bending over it all. And I also got some lesser used tools on it. The one-trick pony mortising tool right there, drum sander, and small belt sander. But it is, I just built it a couple of months ago, and it's on wheels. This is, for Indiana Rev, for the Indiana Rev, in this box right here is my collection of prizes. Collection of prizes for the annual fishing trip, by the way. This is my cherry picker right here. It kind of takes up a lot of room and it's kind of clunky, but it's on wheels and I use it all the time. I figured I'd just use it to move engines and stuff, but once you have one of these, you find all kind of darn uses for it. It's a wonderful thing. Back there in the back is my lathe. I built this lathe table for it out of 2x6s, and it's real heavy. It's on wheels, and it makes a real stable foundation for that lathe. This is my main workbench. It contains 4 cabinets. Inside the cabinets, I think I was telling you about this, Reverend, when we were looking at your garage. I've got a series of toolboxes where here's plumbing supplies. That's just a regular toolbox. That's a 3/8-inch socket set. That's my special toolbox down there for special tools like micrometers and torque wrenches and wind gauges and anything that's not used a lot, but you need it. There's my electrical toolbox. Any kind of electrical issue, I go to that electrical toolbox. But it kind of overflowed a little bit. So I have a secondary electrical toolbox here, and this has got electrical parts. And this is a half-inch or inch drive socket set right there. And then across here I got all my, this is for saw blades and planer blades and joiner blades and so forth. This particular container here has hole saws in it, and also one of those drill doctor things, which I don't use much anymore. And there's my nail box. Okay, up here, this is an important organizational feature. This is an important organizational feature up here on my desk. You can see that I have, I don't know, there must be a darn near 100 of these little containers here, and each one of them contains something different. There's some nuts right there. Those are lag bolts. There's a whole thing of springs. You never know when you need a spring. Whatever those are called. C clamps or something. Here's eye bolts and hangers. More clamps. Wire. This is wire. Of course, screws. I even have my. These are small drill bits in here, and these are Phillips screw bits, all kinds of different bits, star bits and torque bits and all kinds of bits. So anytime I need a bolt or a screw or a washer or something that looks like a washer but isn't, before I run to the store, I come out here to my little cubby bins and get excited. Up there is my air conditioner. It'd probably be a good day to have it on today, but I have a couple of B-52 fans that usually make it all right in here. This large workbench, it's got 6 giant steel casters on it, each one rated for about 400 pounds or more. And that whole bench there will move anywhere in the shop I need to move it to. Incidentally, virtually everything in my shop, including the fans, all my tools, toolboxes, everything is on wheels. And this is very important because depending on the project I'm working on, you know, from time to time I need to move things around and configure it for the particular project I'm working on. Continuing down this aisle, I have the obligatory DeWalt planer, drill press on a little ad hoc drill press stand. Against that back wall I call it my saw pegs. That's where I keep all my saws and bandsaw blades and hand saws and back saw and all that business. This is my jointer. This is my large. It's one of my only tools that doesn't have wheels. It's a large bandsaw, which is great for resawing, and these large bandsaws are just great anyway, because back in the 50s they made these things really heavy. And this is my router. I have several routers, but this is my router table, and that's the router stand I put together. There are my clamps. And this is an interesting feature here. Whenever you're building anything, everybody will always ask you, you ask them, what do you want to stain it? And so what I've done here is every time I stain something, I make a sample of it. And then when somebody asks me what should they stain it, they can just come right over here to this rack and pick out the color they like. And of course that often depends on the kind of wood, so I know what kind of wood it is, so I can tell them, like that up there in the right hand corner at the top, or all that wood on top up there is all either clear pine or poplar. Against this back wall is, I think I was telling you about this, Robert. This is, I have 36 cabinets that are 2 feet deep, and if to give you some idea how much cabinet space I have, if this 2.5 feet wide shelf were all one long shelf, it'd be 144 feet long. So I can store a lot of stuff. I have a room at the top for deep storage stuff, and room at the bottom for larger things like tires and stoves and all that kind of stuff. Within the cabinet, I just know where everything is, just from force of habit. For example, I know in this cabinet right here is all my paint, and the one below it has all painting supplies, and I got some epoxy resin and sandpaper and all that business. Over here I keep my hand tools. I got the drills and drill-like stuff on top, saws on the bottom. And if I come down to the very end here, I got grinders and sanders, and then I got jigs up there on the top. There's my Craig jig right there. So the shelves cut down on a whole lot of clutter. Back here in the back, this is my dust collection system. I basically only use the dust collection system on my router table, my joiner, and my planer, and my table saw. my dust collection system for my chop saw is basically that big B52 fan right there. If I'm doing a lot of sawing, you know, that B52 fan will just blow all the dust right out the door, so it's no big deal. Down the center here, of course, I got my table saw, and it's measured away from the wall more than 8 feet, so that I can get a full, I can get a full 8 foot length of whatever I'm cutting in here. My outfeed table slash work table right there, I built that, and that's got a sacrificial top on it. And of course it's exactly the same height as my table, so I can use it as an outfeed table. I have put a curved edge on it right here, so that if whatever my work is sagging a little bit, it'll still catch the table. And I have two chairs here. I found that to be really nice thing to have in the shop. And this thing right here, this second outfeed table, and that's what it is. It actually serves as an outfeed table, a work table, but it was originally built several years ago as a scaffolding. This is my second bandsaw. It's a smaller one. It's got a tiny blade on it. But this scaffolding has, I built it just for a temporary kind of a deal. Just threw it together with some old wood I had, and I was using it to paint. The garage, especially up in the overheads. But I've discovered that I use this thing all the time. For example, right over there, I just noticed I have a light out. Well, with this outfeed table, and I've got that platform up there for tools and whatever I'm working on, I can just slide this table right over underneath that light, and I have a steady work platform, a place to put my tools, and the whole business. So that work platform, that scaffolding has come in real handy. I actually use that scaffolding a lot when I built those cabinets, because those cabinets are up, top of the cabinets are at 8 feet. And, of course you can, I got ladders and everything, but on the work platform, I could have all my tools and nails and saws and wood and everything else, up at that 8 foot level, and just stand there and work without going up and down the ladder like a monkey. Here is another little feature I like. I got this little work. This little work table. Whatever job I'm working on, I can lay parts and tools and everything on this little work table and slide it around to wherever I'm at. This is my everyday. I was telling you, Rev, how I got my tools organized in my toolbox. This kind of helps me stay organized. I got all my pliers in the top drawer. In the second drawer, I got all my end wrenches. In the third drawer, I got all my my screwdrivers and Allen wrenches and all that business. And in this one, I have all scrapers and knives and cutting tools and files and all that business. Here's where I keep all my hammers and chisels and braking bars and all that stuff. And then in the final one, I have all my carpenter and woodworking kind of stuff, like small levels and squares and tapes and all that stuff. So it's easy to find that way, and it's all organized. Well, that's all I can think of. there it is. One thing you might consider is lighting. I've got, stadium lighting in this darn place. I got lights everywhere. Very important to be able to see what you're doing. What I did here is I put this dropped lighting system here with 5 T8 lights right over my workbench. Makes seeing what I'm doing real easy. Alrighty then, Reverend. Good luck on your reorganization. And one more thing. This is my wood rack. This is my wood rack, and you can see I've got the wood going vertically as opposed to horizontally. I never had much luck with the horizontal wood storage because it's hard to get to it. It takes up a lot of room. But this is the way it's stored at the lumber yards, so I figured if they can do it, it must work. And I've been doing this way for a long time. I can reach in here and take a board out and put a board back, even if it's in the back, and not disturb anything. If you have a horizontal rack, if you want something on the bottom, you got to pull it. It's got all the weight of the other wood. And I think one of the drawbacks of this system is it could tend to warp the wood, but I haven't had that problem yet, so I guess it's not a problem. All right, thanks for watching, Reverend, and I hope you enjoyed the shop tour.